Good afternoon, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the EHEF 20 hour study in Finland. My name is Hanadia or Hannah, and I'll be your host. Join us in this exciting journey where we can explore opportunities to Europe as part of European Higher Education Fair 2025. Before we start, we'd like to pause and share our condolences for the recent in Indonesia. It is a tough moment, and our hearts go out. Today we are exploring study in Finland. Let's also carry a spirit of hope, compassion, and support for one another. Skipping rules. First, please use the feature of Q&A in this webinar to ask some questions. And also do not forget to follow EHEF Indonesia social media for the latest update, such as Instagram, EHEF, IG. Today in this webinar, we'll explore why Finland is a fantastic destination to pursue. Now, in here knows Finland or know where Finland is. Well, as you guys may know, Finland is not only the happiest country in the world just for several years in a row, actually, but also home to a world-class education, sustainable living, and innovation. And also the nature is very breathtaking, fresh air, and of course the magical Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights. Have you seen the recent Indonesia movie, Sore? Yes. It beautifully captured Finland's aurora, giving us a glimpse of how magical life can be there. And a quick fact, I actually did live in Estonia or the area, which is, across the sea from Finland, and it's really magical when we're talking about, the beauty of the snow and during winter season, which is very different to what we have here in Indonesia as a tropical country. So now let's get ready to discover how big dreams can be fueled by Finnish sisu, or the spirit of determination and resilience that defines Finnish people. Now let's introduce our distinguished speaker. We have over here Mr. Mika Törönen, our Counselor of Education and Science, Embassy of Finland in Singapore, working across Southeast Asia. He holds a PhD in molecular developmental genetics and has worked as a scientist at the University of Helsinki and the European Molecular Biology Laboratory in Heidelberg. Beyond research, he also served as a program director at the Academy of Finland and has been actively involved in EU science funding schemes. A strong advocate of Finnish education and innovation, Mr. Törönen is dedicated to create a new collaborative opportunities between Finland and Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. We're very lucky to have him with us today. Please welcome Mr. Mika. So now, Mr. Mika
Okay,
over
thank you.
here. Yes, I'm sure you already had and prepared some materials to be shared with our audience today. So please, the floor is yours, and just share as much as you can about Finland. Everyone is interested to study in Finland.
Okay, thank you very much, Hannah, for your kind words, and really excited to hear that you know so much about Finland by yourself, having been there. I share my screen, and I can at the same time warn you that I'm the most low-tech science counselor on the planet, but let's see how I manage this time. So I put the screen on now. So did I handle it right? Can you see my first slide? Hope so. Okay, so I will tell you something about Finland in terms of a place to study and to make research. Like you see here in the map, Finland is located quite far away from Indonesia. It's in the northern corner of Europe. It belongs to Nordic countries. And in history, we have had a lot of connections to our neighboring countries in Nordic and Baltic area. Also, Finland is like Hannah said, well known for its happiness. It has been elected many times in a row to be the happiest country in the world. There's also another thing that comes up in many rankings and discussions about Finland and its education system. When you look at global rankings on different domains, and many times uh, in besides of happiness and education, Finland is also named as a leading country in innovations, in green and innovative solutions, and also in latest rankings in Europe scoreboard, Finland, like Nordic neighbors as well, have been highlighted as innovation leaders in EU. It's also like has long and strong history in technology development. But in addition to that, it's a safe and very well functioning society, and it belongs to EU, which is of course a big asset, because when you go to study in Europe, you can travel in any country with no issues and no visa or anything needed. So there's something many times my colleagues, when I ask that how should I advertise Finland, they say me that okay, tell them how beautiful the country is. And I always say that yeah, I know Finland is beautiful, but so are all other countries as well. I never visited an ugly country, so all countries are beautiful. Also Indonesia, I have been there a couple of times, and I can tell you it's a beautiful country. But what is maybe special in Finland is that because we are a small population in a pretty large area, Finland is among the largest countries by area in Europe. That means that the relationship with nature is something special. So there's so much nature for per capita in Finland that all of us have a connection to forest and to lakes, nature parks, and also northern lights, as Hannah pointed out. We have amazingly many lakes in Finland, 180,000 lakes in one country. So that is quite something. But that's about nature and the big picture. So let's go a little bit deeper into our education system. How is it organized? So when you think about Finnish higher education, you have two alternative pathways. First of all, we have 13 academic universities where you can study everything from bachelor to master to PhD, and then to make postdoc and start your research career. And then we have 22 universities of applied sciences that we could also call as colleges. So in these institutes, you can study bachelor degree, and in five of them, you can also continue to make a master degree. So here in this scheme, you see the thing in more details. So in the left-hand side, you can see how things go in academic universities. First, you study 3 years bachelor, and then after that, you can directly take 2 years master, and then you can continue to doctoral studies, which normally take 4 years. In the right hand side, you see the other pathway. So you can go to UAS, a University of Applied Sciences, to study first bachelor, which takes 3.5 to 4.5 years, and then you can either directly continue to the left hand side to academic master degree, or you can go to working life, and then after 2 years working experience you can take a master degree in UAS. So in academic universities you don't have this a requirement of work life experience. You got to have that when you go to UAS side. UAS is, if I would describe it briefly, I would say that it's very profession oriented. It also means that during your studies, you normally do intensive internships in, in working life and in companies, whereas the academic universities are, like in most countries, they are more academic, more theoretical. In some schools or programs, you get a clear defined profession like a law school or medical school and so on. But if you study history, chemistry, biology, and so on, you are pretty free to choose later your professional pathway. And when it comes to studies in English, there are no worries at all. There are almost 600 bachelor's and master's degrees taught in English. And when it comes to PhD, I think it's not very common anymore, maybe even not possible to make a PhD in Finnish language in universities. They are so international nowadays that people normally do their PhD in English. How to apply to universities in Finland? So normally the most hectic and active period for applying starts in November and runs to January. It's hard to, there is no a single deadline for applying to Finland. So it depends on the program and the university where you are aiming at. So I will soon tell you more about this. But I said no single deadline, but a couple of different deadlines for different programs. How we in Finland normally do things, we love to go online and we love to explore what we can find there. So there's one website, studyinfo.fi, which is very, very handy. There you can find basically every information on different programs that are available. So you simply type in your keyword, like let's say computer science or AI, or whatever your interest is. You type it in, and then it immediately shows you the list of programs which are available on that topic. And then you can click each of them, and then you will find more details. Actually, you find everything. You find information on scholarships, the tuition fees, all supportive measures, the contacts to whom you can talk to about the program, and so on. So they're all there. So that is a very important website to have uh, and to explore. Uh, a few words about how studies are organized in Finland. I've been working and living in Asia now 12 years, so I understand something about Asian culture. And if I think about one of the major differences between Finnish and Asian culture is that Finland, we are very how to say, we don't have hierarchical systems. We are very flat by organization, which means that as a student, it's very easy to go to talk to a professor in Finland. So there is no gap really in universities. So professors are like colleagues. And working in a Finnish research team, for instance, as well, is very equal. So this is maybe one of the major differences that I think in Asia, things are pretty hierarchical, and also in Europe, in many other countries. For instance, if I think about my work here in the embassy, I'm by the way sitting in Singapore, our embassy in Singapore. It's very flat organization. We are all friends. We go together to have beer with the ambassador and so on. Whereas I know that in many colleagues, situation is a bit different in many EU countries even. So that things are more hierarchical. This is altogether, I would say, common to Nordic countries. So Finland belongs to Nordic culture in this sense. So studying and living in Finland, how about the costs there? So like I said, the studyinfo.fi is a right place to find out how much each course is how much the fee is. So it ranges normally from 8,000 to 20,000 euro a year. When you go to UAS, normally their fee is closer to 8,000. In universities, it is normally above 10,000. But I would say that it's very common to have 12 to 13,000, 14,000 is the normal price in universities. But in the most wanted courses, some MBAs, for instance, in some universities make it as high as 20,000 euro a year. As for scholarships, this is an important question. Everybody asks, of course, how you can get scholarships and how much they cover. We used to have earlier fully covering scholarships, but the current government changed the policy. So nowadays, universities only rarely offer fully covering scholarships. Normally, they cover part of the studies, and normally it is bound to your success and your speed in studies. So the quicker you are, the more safe you are to get a scholarship. I would say that the overall maximum these days is around 50% scholarship. I don't know if any Finnish university anymore has full scholarship. It is possible, but I think that mostly they are up to 50% of the tuition fee. So how about living costs in Finland? Finland is quite a medium country when it comes to costs in Europe. That this estimation is given by authorities, so it's a little bit upper scale. It's better to have calculate the costs are a little bit higher than they might be in practice. So this is the advised way of calculating that. It's around 900 to 1,000 euro per month. But this depends a lot where you are living and in which city you are living. If you are in Helsinki, the rents are higher than in internal parts of Finland or northern parts. Or if you are living in a student dormitory compared to private sector rental houses or homes. So I mean, the rent is maybe the biggest cost item. So pretty much is determined by a way of living in Finland. How about a student residence permit? Uh, you can you can apply it right after you have received your admission decision, and you can start the process. There you will need the acceptance letter, and then they also ask you a proof of financing. So you have to tell how you are going to finance your studies. Here is another key website, enterfinland.fi. Here you will find what is needed to when you apply student residence, and it is given to the time of your studies. The length of your studies would be covered. So here is the scheme, how it goes. First, you go to studyinfo.fi and you explore and choose your program. So there you will find all the information on the tuition fees, on the scholarships. You can write to the administrator of that specific program and start discussing the details. You will see also what kind of support measures there are in place for applicants. So then you find all these things, and then you find the university's instructions how to apply. So there you will find all the information on the English degrees, for instance, that you have to hold when you apply, and how do you do the entrance examination. And then, of course, you have to wait for the admission results, and then when you have the granted position, then you start this process for applying the residence permit. So how about life in Finland? Finland is a bilingual country. We speak Finnish and Swedish. For instance, me as a state officer, I have to speak both Finnish and Swedish. But when you live there as a citizen, you can choose either of these two. So in many state professions, they require or actually I would say that it's a requirement for state professions that you have to handle Finnish or Swedish language. But if you go to a private sector, companies, for instance, or if you stay in university, continue your studies, go into research, you don't need to speak any Finnish basically or Swedish. Everything is in English. So Finland is fully English speaking country, so everybody speaks English there as well. But when you take your degree studies, you can include to your English program or degree, you can include Finnish or Swedish courses into your studies. And it is also advisable because it helps you to start your life in Finland. Uh, yes. And then when you have graduated, when you have a degree in Finland, then you can apply for residence permit to look for work in Finland or start business there. So it's a 2-year residence permit after your degree is finished. And when you get a Finnish degree in a Finnish university, it follows and matches the European credit transfer system, which means that your certificate is valid all over Europe. So it's regarded valid everywhere in Europe. And because in Europe you can travel freely, so basically you can move with your degree and certificate anywhere in European area. Then you can always also, after you make your master's, you can always consider continuing doing PhD. In the studyinfo.fi webpage, you can also find doctoral programs. And again here, they are very specific to universities. There are the best thing in Finland is that when you start PhD studies, you are regarded as a researcher already, so you will get salary. So you will get either directly from a university or from your professor, or then you can apply into specific PhD programs, which can give you a scholarship or salary. So that's a very nice way actually to go deeper into Finnish society. If you want to stay there, I seriously advise you to think about making PhD because there's a lot of need for PhDs in Finland. And you get salary, you get more time to find out your way, and you go deeper into your discipline. Here is just a picture of Finland and where the universities are located. As I said, there are 13 academic universities at the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you see the list of universities of applied sciences. In many cities, there are both. There are both UAS and both academic university. And as said, the more south you are living, the more high, most likely, the rent, annual monthly rent for a student apartment is. And by the way, a funny fact is that this northernmost dot over there, it is located in Rovaniemi city, which is the home of Santa Claus village. There you can meet Santa Claus in person. But also the funny thing is that the University of Lapland is the northernmost university on this planet. So it's the northest place where you can conduct higher education studies. And then at the end, I show you a few slides on the science, the strength of Finnish science, because this is good to know where Finland is strong. And I was also surprised myself when I checked this that business studies and economics actually are globally very highly ranked. So value 1 means here the OECD average. So if anything above 1 means the higher quality than in OECD countries normally. Just few years back, a Nobel Prize on economy was given to a Finnish scholar. But here you see also the other usual suspects as ICT and electrical engineering. That is a strong, traditionally very strong area in Finland. Then agriculture and forest sciences. Like said, Finland is an aerially big country. We have lots of forests. So agriculture and forest is a very strong domain in Finland. Clinical medicine, engineering, and interestingly, mathematics also very, very strong. Here is a more detailed list of the science flagships of Finland. These are the uh, science networks that are at the very top of the world in their own domain. For instance, atmosphere and climate research in Finland is a world leading. The most cited geoscientist for many, many years in a row is in Helsinki University. Then also very strong in materials, bioeconomy. Like said, forests are our thing. So forest human machine interplay. That's an interesting area for future. Digital waters, like said, we have lots of lakes, 180,000 lakes. So digital waters, it's another very, very highly esteemed domain. Advanced mathematics, sensing, imaging, and modeling. This is very interesting. Finland has very strong record in inverse mathematics and different types of mathematics research. Education, as said earlier, is the thing of Finland. 6G, you all maybe know Nokia smartphones. Finland was front runner in 3G, also in 4G and 5G. There were Finnish engineers actually, or Finnish professor as a how to say the chief advisor for companies like Nokia and Huawei when they developed 3G, 4G, and 5G. And now they are developing in Oulu University, especially they are developing 6G. So Finland is front runner there. Then we have strong teams in artificial intelligence. Finland is one of the European leaders in quantum technology. This is because Finland has been holding world record in low temperature research for decades actually. Aalto University, if somebody broke their record, they came back and broke it again. So, so Aalto University is in superconducting quantum research, one of the leaders, absolute leaders in the world. Then photonics, very strong as in Tampere area. They have this domain. And as said, Finland is a welfare society, so we have welfare state research as well. Then we have strong teams in biomedicine, like in cancer. Then we have gene, cell, and nanotherapy, and then research on immune system. So these are very, very strong areas, but there are a lot of others as well. This is just the tip of the iceberg here, what I showed. So this is one of my very last slides, just to mention to you that Finland has become also a key country in supercomputing, high performance supercomputing. Europe's fastest supercomputer is placed in Finland. It's actually a EU Finland joint project where we have 10 member countries also joining this. And now we just are building up the new AI factory that got several 100 million funding both from EU and Finland. So Finland is gonna stay and remain as their leader in supercomputing in Europe. And it's actually third fastest computer in the world as well. And many companies like Google are putting a lot of money to this domain, data centers and high performance computing in Finland. So it's a good investment to come to Finland and start working. And then also, I got to mention to you that Finland is very famous on its startup scene. So a few years back, Finland was the world leader. 10% of startup exits were done in Finland. So that tells quite something from this small country. So that it's not a wonder then that one of the biggest startup events in the world. Slush is organized and invented by Finland, actually by students. Many people don't understand actually that Slush is not something top down. Slush was invented by Aalto University students, and they are running the whole show. And it is, I think, world's maybe second biggest startup event globally. And here once more some essential websites. So please have a look. Studyinfinland.fi. This is a common information archive. There you find a lot of data about studying in Finland. When you get serious and you really want to explore admission opportunities, then go to studyinfo.fi. There you will find all programs taught in English. And then, of course, when you have identified interesting programs, then you can go to universities' websites. They can be found through studyinfo.fi as well. Directly there, you will find all links. And then you can finally check from migri.fi that how to get the residence permit to Finland. Okay, I think this is my second last flight. You are invited to Finland, and thank you very much for your attention. I think there's some time for questions, and I'm very happy to stay here online and try to answer. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mika, for those inspiring insights, especially sharing with us today for the Finnish education opportunities. I think we heard a lot. We don't only look at all the beautiful pictures of what happens in Finland, but also the study options that we have and the programs that you guys can explore as well. So now we already have a lot of questions today. The first one is from Sander. The question is about how interdisciplinary are Finland's master's program in public policy. Can students perhaps take communications or sustainability courses? And then is there space for students to collaborate with ministries or other government bodies as part of their coursework research? That's the first question.
Oh,
So maybe you want to answer
okay.
it first?
Yeah, I can answer. Oh, this is a very interesting question, and I love this question actually because many times many, and I would say most of the students are exploring engineering, IT, computing, AI, and so on, all these hard science things. But this is very good point because Finland has very strong research on many societal and political and humanistic domains as well, like I mentioned earlier, welfare state. But public policy is an interesting and important domain. I don't know now. I can actually here type to my computer. Meanwhile, that is keyword, and let's check how many programs this finds. Say public policy. Yeah, okay. This online thing is now typically slow. I'm sorry for that, but okay now. Yeah, public, the social and public policy, many things related to also health and public policy. There are quite many programs. So 37 programs that it shows here in the website. Yeah, I think in altogether this question about interdisciplinarity, I think it's a thing nowadays more and more also in Finland. Because we are a small country, ministries are asking a lot of advice from research institutes and think tanks that we have in country, and they use this data, research data, directly when making the decisions. We have also quite many research institutes and think tanks outside universities who are serving public policy makers and decision makers in these issues. So I think that this is I could I could claim that this is a strength in Finland, that this kind of dialogue and teamwork between disciplines as well. But to get more specific data, you can simply go to the study in info.fi and look in more carefully, because there are different courses who have different emphasis area. Like I said, some in public health and policy and so on. So yes, hopefully I answered partly to your question.
I think you did answer Xander's question. And the second question is from Rosie Raspati Septriana Tampu Bolon, basically asking how is the scheme of study and work permit if she wants to apply for a master's degree that requires 1 year study in Finland and 1 year study in other Nordic country, and then is she eligible to apply work on both countries, and how long will she have the time for works after master graduation? She notes that in some other countries, studies benefits are only eligible for local or EU students. So, what are the concrete studies benefits available for international, non-EU, as well as students?
Hmm.
I think it's more on the
Yeah,
work permit and how long does it take, and the. Mhm.
yeah. I think, yeah, I can start answering, and my colleague from our Jakarta embassy, Vilchat, can maybe add on to this, because I think she knows a bit better on the practices on this permission side. But there's a thumb rule when you apply a visa to Schengen area, to EU. You should apply it from the country where you are going to stay the longest, where you are going to stay the longest period. For instance, if you have 2 year program, 1 year in one country and then the other year in other country, I assume that you should look the country where you stay the longer time. But in this case, maybe Filchat can add on, but I guess that better maybe apply from the country where you start your studies, if it is 1 year, 1+1 year thing. And then when you are there, you can live freely and move freely in Europe. And yes, you are eligible to work if your master gives you a professional certificate, then you are free to apply and to work and move inside Europe with your certificate. Yeah, I think Vilchat, if are you there? Maybe you can add on to this application where
Yes.
to apply. Yeah,
Yes. Hi. Hello. Mika. Hello.
We have Mbak
Rosie.
Filza here.
I can hear. Yeah,
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
I can.
Okay.
I can hear.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like Mika said,
Yes.
it's either the first country, um, or the country that the longest. But I suggest you that you apply to the first country that you're going to work or study in, for the residence permit. Then after that, I think yes, you can work freely in Europe and in other Nordic countries, especially.
Yeah, I think it's quite common actually. This is a general comment that I know personally quite many, for instance, Indian colleagues and friends, because I worked earlier in India, who made their study. They made like master. There's one lady, for instance, who made master in Germany, then came to Finland, made a PhD there, and then continued for postdoc, and then went to work in Finland. So she was a research director in Finland, and then went to Sweden, where she's running a laboratory in a molecular medicine company. So I think it's a pretty common that when you get this kind of expertise, you are pretty free to work and apply positions in Europe, and especially in academic domain. I think this is pretty simple. Okay, maybe Hannah, you can lead us to the next question.
Excuse me, Pak Mika. We're so sorry. I think Hannah has been removed from the Zoom. Maybe I could, maybe I could deliver the questions for you. The next question. All right. So the next question will be okay. Could you explain more about the PhD program in Finland? Is it by research or by coursework, or is there any funded scholarship in the PhD program or vacancy based on position in which applicants can directly apply for?
Yeah, there are two ways basically. First of all, the best way to get into a PhD program in Finland is to there are two ways: either to study master in Finland, because during your studies, when you do masters in Finland, you get to know the professor whom would be running the PhD program, because the professors, they love to take students that they know. So they are very happy to take students from their own master programs. Or if you have already done master in Indonesia, then it helps a lot if your professor knows the Finnish professor or is in contact. But anyway, there are basically two pathways for PhD studies in Finland. One is that you directly approach a professor and you directly, personally, you say that I'm interested about your domain of research, and then you give your bio, you tell what you have been doing, what are your interests, and then you you personally engage with a discussion with the professor. This is a pretty good way, actually. Many professors in Finland, they have their own funding, and they can directly do the hiring. So they can directly give you either a scholarship or salary. It depends on the university's practices. But the point is that you always get paid. When you start PhD, you get money, you get salary, or you get scholarship. Normally, I think it's salary normally, normal salary in Finland. Then there's another pathway. You can also apply to PhD programs. And these you can find through this website that I showed, studyinfo.fi. There you can find, you can type in your keywords, your domain of research, and then you get a list of PhD programs that are in that area. And then you can apply to that program. And then there they have very fixed salary systems and everything. You will get the information directly from the website. So these two pathways, generally, I would say that there's so high demand of PhD students in Finland that this is a very, very handy way actually to get pretty deeply into Finnish academia. And then university career is also attractive, because if you start your PhD in Finland, you can continue it in other EU country, for instance. So I a little bit envy researchers. I used to be a researcher myself in my earlier career. So I a little bit envy those guys, because they are pretty free to move from one country to another. If they just find funding, the world is open. So yes, I think that's a very good choice to get employed in Finland. And then the other thing is as well that when you stay longer in university, for instance, so you do your PhD, that means already that you go deeper into some domain. Like let's take like AI or this quantum or whatever. So you go deeper, and this offers you new opportunities to start business, for instance. You may get an idea to make a startup, and then you can apply funding from Business Finland to start your own business in Finland. I know, like my own son is doing this. So he went to PhD, and then he's already establishing a company. So this is a very handy way actually to find different pathways and options in front of you. Hannah is back.
Yes, sorry about that. My connection is not really at its finest. but I'm continuing the question. Thank you, Ade, for helping me earlier. So the next question is from Anissa Fitria Ramadhani. From your perspective, Mr. Mika, what topics or area research topics or innovation areas that are currently emerging or gaining momentum in Finland, particularly beyond technology, for example, in design, the arts, sciences, and humanities?
I love this. Okay, I write down to myself. Yes, this is a very interesting question. And as I said already earlier, I like that you consider also other domains. There are usual suspects where Finland is strong. But now that you mentioned design, this is a stronghold actually of Finnish doings. In certain universities, like in Aalto University, for instance, their design faculty is ranked, I think the latest ranking was number 7 globally. So it's really hard, really high quality. So I would say that design and nowadays more and more also architecture, these are very strong areas traditionally in Finland, and their design schools have a lot of connections globally as well. So now that I'm sitting here in Singapore, I noticed that, oh, they have connections here to this, for instance, this local design university here, and so on. So the network is in place. So I strongly recommend to look at design. It's a strength, really a national strength in Finland. Then arts and humanities is another strong, especially in certain areas like I mentioned, welfare studies, welfare society studies, welfare policies, for instance. Tampere University is traditionally very strong in that domain. So these are really areas that are needed more and more, and the government is also funding these domains because they are facing so many challenges. For instance, aging society, migration, all these geopolitical things, security issues. So there are a lot of domains where we need more and more research. So I think anything related to the global challenges, also regulation of climate change or mitigation of climate change, issues related to that are very important. And these are also many times embedded into technological research. For instance, if you take AI, which is strong also in certain domains in Finland, it's very strong, like voice recognition, for instance. It is also very much related to legal issues, ethical issues, and this in the best research teams, they also offer positions for different disciplines, just to understand better. And in big picture, I would say you are in right place when you are listening to study in Europe, because in AI, for instance, Europe is a front runner in the societal and ethical issues related to AI and legal aspects of AI. So I think many countries in Europe are very exciting to study that domain.
Yes, I think that was a really great answer. So there are more growing sort of topic of areas that can be researched in Finland that Anissa, the one who was asking, can actually do that as well. And then the next one is Nadif. So Nadif has a bachelor's degree in arts in Indonesia. And then if Nadif continues studying master in Finland with a linear major as her or his bachelor's, in this case, film and television study, will it be easy for Nadif to find a part-time job as a creative industry worker, let's say an editor or videographer, or for a television station? Is it such
Oh,
a? I mean, we all know Nokia, but Nadif wondering here
uh,
whether film and television
mm, mm, mm.
in Finland is relevant.
This is a tricky question. I answer this in two parts. Uh, it traditionally, if you look at last 10 years, the trend in Finland, there has been a growing trend where Finland has been attracting more and more foreign productions, TV and film productions to take place in Finland, and some American movies, Hollywood movies, even some parts of Bollywood, Indian ones are shot in Finland these days. They are actively marketing, and Business Finland is also subsidizing foreign productions that take place in Finland. So there's a very active national policy towards this. So in that sense, my answer is yes, absolutely. This is a very, very good and hot domain. But I also have to tell honestly that these years now recent years have been a bit challenging to Finland in that domain for two reasons. One is that the government is, actually the main reason is the geopolitical situation, which has shut down interaction, a lot of interaction between Finland and Russia, which used to be very strong in film industry actually as well. So a lot of productions took place in like 10 in last 10 years with Russia, which is very, very strong in also in this domain. Now that we have this geopolitical situation, these ties are shut down. So this has caused some problems to Finnish film and movie domain to adjust to this new situation. And then also government has been forced to, for budgetary reasons, to cut down a little bit of its funding to this domain. So honestly speaking, Finland is living a little bit hard times in that specific domain, film industry in recent years. But in bigger picture, if I look the trend in like 10 years and longer, it has become more and more international. It is very international. And there are also productions, more and more productions now coming with USA, American producers and so on. So I see this as a shift in the, I have to say, the partnerships, clear shift in partnerships here now taking place. And I think that the future is bright, but if you now look at situation today, there are challenges in Finland.
Wow, that's really interesting insight as well. I think not many people have actually known or recognized such opportunity, especially in TV and also film industry. And now we're moving on to Abdul Salam Saad. Oh, we're moving on to, hold on, there are so many questions. Andre Uteja, is there any resource provided by our universities and or local municipalities to improve our Finnish proficiency during our time there? So basically like Finnish language proficiency and
Yeah. Yeah, this is important, of course, and especially in certain domains, it's better to handle Finnish. Yes, you can find these courses in universities. I think the best way is to directly talk. If you go to study in Finland to a university, they can advise you a lot on this issue, where to take Finnish classes. Most likely you can take them inside the university, or then there are different other courses provided. Yeah, certainly that can be done, and there are a lot of opportunities for this, and it is advisable anyway. Finnish is, I would say, uh, people tell you that it's a difficult language, but don't worry, even 2-year-old Finns can speak Finnish, so it's not that hard at all.
so Finnish is actually not person who've learned it as well. I mean, a little bit. It's a bit difficult. Anyway, now moving on to Isa. So Isa is a fresh graduate and willing to apply master study in Finland, and she wants to ask a question about publication requirements. does a publication is a mandatory for applying master, like the study, published study or published paper?
No, no. It's not at all required in Finland. When you apply to PhD program, it's not obligatory even then, but there it is beneficial. It is certainly beneficial when you apply for PhD if you can show, okay, I have this publication, but not for masters. No, not at all.
We see, in Finland, is it free for foreigner, or is there any available scholarship, kind of, scholarship related to?
Yeah, Hannah, I guess you were asking about scholarships. Your voice was a little bit breaking up, but maybe your question was that what kind of scholarships and can they cover their tuition fee, more or less. Yeah, there are, I think all universities do have scholarship schemes, and normally the scholarships are given to those quick learners who do their studies quickly. So it's better to perform well. And normally scholarships go up to 50%. I think that is the thumb rule currently. As I said earlier, I doubt that any university anymore gives full scholarship. That used to be the case, but and there still may be some, but let's not take it for granted. They normally go up to 50% or something like that.
Okay, got it. So there are some scholarship, but perhaps we cannot really take it for granted, and then so we have to prepare as well. Another question is from Raizar Mahabatan. Is it possible for non-EU, especially Indonesian, who study master degree from Finnish campus to apply job or internship in Finland during their study? Because Raizar here is interested in studying and working in Finland, especially in earth science.
Yeah, in
Working at the
Finnish.
same time.
Okay, yes. Yeah, in Finnish higher education system, you have an opportunity to apply internships during your studies when you are doing a 2-year master in Finland. Normally, it belongs to study periods. You can apply to internship position, and then the salary is given either by the sending university or the university where you study, or then the working place where you are going to. But that is the common way of how Finnish students get employed, that they go to internships and then they get to know the working place. This is a normal, this is how to say, the mainstream practice actually in Finland. I know that in Asia, in many countries, students stay pretty isolated from working life. Only later they get into that. But in Finland, it normally belongs to studies, like and especially in certain study programs, they have industry connections, and this is also a current government policy, that we want foreign students who study in Finland to get employed. So there are supportive measures in universities in place, helping to find connections to companies during your study time already, not just after your studies, but during your studies.
Got it. So it's actually something that's quite possible as well for non-EU students, as well as especially, the EU students as well. Now we're moving on to Aulia Rohmah Ramadani's question. If Mika, you could recommend her about the Finland's institution that's good for urban studies and it is eligible for second master. So a program for urban, like institution for urban studies, and whether or not Aulia here is eligible for second master.
Did he study this first master in Indonesia, or or in Finland?
Probably in Indonesia or somewhere else, but I don't think it's from Finland.
Yeah. I to my understanding, I'm only 98% sure, but I to my understanding, yes, no problem. If you were a Finn studying in Finland, that might be a different thing. But because you did your first master outside Finland, so you are coming to Finland, I think there is no issues on this at all.
Okay, so basically Aulia here can do her second master in Finland. And another question from her is institution in Finland that's good for urban studies. Do you have any recommendation maybe?
That's a very very interesting domain, by the way, and I think there are a couple of universities who are strong, truly strong in this, like but Aalto, for instance, Aalto University. But let me check. I do my survey here if my computer is a little bit faster. Urban studies. Aalto University has, Helsinki University has. Then Häme UAS has quite many. Helsinki has 2 programs. Yeah, it seems with a quick glance, it seems that Helsinki University and Aalto are the key universities here, and they both offer master studies on this urban studies and planning, real estate economics, Master of Science. Then there is engineer related environmental change and global sustainability related urban planning. And there are a couple of very interesting examples, and I can tell that Helsinki and Aalto are very very strong places
For urban studies.
Yeah.
So that's for Aulia. Yeah. Aulia here can study in Helsinki, or what was the other name of the university, Mika?
Aalto, Aalto, Aalto University, and then Helsinki University, which is the capital city in Finland, Helsinki University. They have urban studies and urban planning related to programs. And Aalto University has also, I mentioned earlier that they have this design school, which also has architecture and different aspects of urban planning, very strong. This design school especially is maybe, I think it's maybe the strongest school in any Finnish university, design school in Aalto University.
Got it. Okay, so this is the last 2 questions. One question from Kaila Maizahra. She's asking because she's interested to attend her bachelor's in Finland, and then she only has a little question that it is mentioned that Finnish love nature, sustainable tech, and the mindset of sisu. What do you think is the value that most universities search for, especially in terms of her application or interviews?
You mentioned Finnish attitude and sisu. Maybe I missed the real the question that was it some advice to interview or?
Yes. So it's basically the question on the value that most universities search for. Yeah. So maybe tips and tricks.
Okay. Yeah, I got this. I think what Finnish selectors, I think, value is how to say what we are looking for. Of course, we love teamwork. We love people who can join a team and be part of the team, but also inside a team framework, be very creative and brave to propose new things. So I mean, at the kind of combination of interplay between peers, and then also how to say, brave attitude to propose new solutions, or I mean, so yeah, I think this is a thing that is valued. But don't worry too much. Be just yourself. I think that is the most important thing always in any interview. You are just yourself. And anyway, the system has these values, and when they want, when you are there, I think they also sense your personality, and then that's the best asset that we all have, right?
So be yourself. Do not worry too much, Kyla. I think
Yeah,
Mika and I and everyone over here think that you got it. And then the
yeah.
next one is from this is the last question, by the way, Mr. Mika, as our time is also limited today. We have question from Rauda Tunisa. She would like to know, in your opinion, Mika, what makes Finland's higher education system unique compared to other countries, especially for international students from Indonesia?
Mm. Yeah, I think this is a thing that many foreign students say when they have studied in Finland, that they raise certain issues. First of all, it's very pragmatic, uh, pragmatic and action-oriented research. So and study. So people are not just reading books, theoretical books, but they are put into situations that resemble a lot real working life. And for instance, in many research programs, you actually interact already with companies. It's kind of hackathon type of approach, that companies may give you a challenge, and then you solve it, and you participate in discussions with your clients already as a student. So I think this is that what many students say, that it's not theoretical at all. It's pragmatic. It's action, real life oriented, working life oriented. Also, like I said earlier, it's combination of teamwork and individual capacity to work individually. A brave way to seek your own interest, your own pathway, and at the same time to interact with others and be as a team player. I think these are things that I appreciate a lot.
Thank you so much. I think that wraps up our Q&A session really beautifully. And it was indeed a very inspiring session. Thank you so much, Mr. Mika. We've learned today that studying in Finland is not only about getting a degree, it's about living in a country that values happiness, sustainability, and innovation. So now I'm going to also inform our audience today that we have three best questions from three audience. Kaila Mai Zahra, Rauda Tonisa, and Rosi Respati Septriana Tambubolon. All of these three lucky or amazing audience who actually did ask brilliant questions will get freebies and also like gifts from Embassy of Finland for Indonesia. So that's we're going to reach out to you later. Anyway, so I think that was the end of our session today. Do not forget to register for European Higher Education Fair EHEF 2025, happening soon, not only in Yogyakarta, but also in Jakarta. And also there will be a Finland booth as well, right? If I'm not mistaken, about Filza and
Yep.
Mr. Mika as well. And so many booths as well. So don't miss it. Don't ever miss it. So basically it will be in Jogja and also in Jakarta. So anyway, I think that wraps it up. More opportunities, more countries, and more chances to plan you guys, your studies journey in Europe as well coming up. So we have also just a bit note from EHEF. Basically tomorrow, the day after tomorrow on Sunday, we also have a live Instagram as well. Basically a sharing session with an alumni of European studies alumni who graduated from Europe, who is now either in Europe or in Indonesia to share about their experiences as well. And I think also some alumni from European Union countries as well. Anyway, I think that was it. Thank you for joining us today, and see you at the next EHEF webinar. And I think we learned a lot about big dreams, Finnish, Sisu especially, and that means endless possibilities. So thank you.
Thank
Kiitos.
you. Take care. Thank you. Kiitos. Bye-bye.
Udah bisa bubar belum?